Sounds about right. What does that mean?
Considering that most machines in a static or constant speed situation have roughly 50-50 weight distribution, we can begin to calculate the guidelines for correct throttle control through a turn. The fact the rear contact patch is the larger of the two tells the story. Give me more weight, I can handle it. So, once in the corner, our task is to shift 10 to 20% more load to the rear to give it its fair share of load. This we do with the throttle. Technically speaking, we want a slight 0.1 to 0.2 Gs of acceleration to accomplish that. Simply put, in a straight line, it's the force generated by a smooth fifth gear roll-on in the 4 to 6,000 RPM range on pretty much anything over 600cc. That's not much acceleration, but it transfers the weight. Whatever the RPM range, we must maintain the weight transfer by continuing our throttle roll-on. Throttle control rule number 1. Once the throttle is cracked open, it is rolled on evenly, smoothly and continuously throughout the remainder of the turn. This is not just a racing technique, it applies to all corners on all motorcycles. Once the correct transfer of weight is achieved using the throttle, any big changes in that weight distribution will reduce available traction, which is especially important in poor traction conditions. Once the bike is fully leaned over, violating rule number 1 with poor throttle control will underweight or overweight that particular tyre bike combination. Here again, even in poor traction conditions, good throttle control gives maximum stability and grip. Slides aren't the only negative result from rolling the throttle on and off. For track riding and racing, each throttle on off or even just a hesitation will cost you time. At least a tenth of a second, about a bike length, in a slow to medium speed turn. In higher speed turns, the same throttle error will cost you even more. The effects of wind drag are substantial at higher speeds.
If the surface is slippery, do you want to overload the front or rear tires?
No!
Correct. If you're rough or inconsistent with your throttle control, will it reduce traction?
Yes!
Exactly. If you have good throttle control, will the weight be distributed properly on both the front and rear tire?
Yes!
Exactly. Now, what is throttle control rule number 1?
Once the throttle is cracked open, it is rolled on evenly, smoothly, and constantly throughout the remainder of the turn.
Good. Now, repeat that to yourself 1,000 times.
Once the throttle is cracked open, it is rolled.
This rider is late on the gas and gets very hard sudden acceleration out of the turn. This rider is trying for good throttle control and has nice clean roll-on, not the same fierce acceleration as the first guy. But what is the actual result in exit speed? Let's look at the radar. A huge difference. There are two circumstances under which you may violate throttle control rule number 1. Let's take the point where you are bringing the bike up for the drive out of the corner as the first one. As the bike is brought up towards vertical, we can be more aggressive with the throttle. At some point, you can pin it.
Coordinating your throttle roll-on with bringing up the bike is how to maximize your drive off of any corner on any size bike.
Most riders wait until the bike is nearly upright before they increase the roll-on rate. The skill of it is in accurate timing of the pick-up and roll-on. What difference does it make? Quite a lot. The second exception to throttle control rule number 1 is traction control. Riders can be far more aggressive with mid-corner and exit throttle. Double apex turns are the other exception to the throttle control rule. Since you're actually dealing with 2 turns, it's okay to roll off or stop the roll-on between the 2.
Look at the guy on the Repsol. He's not smooth with the gas.
I bet his wrist hurt.
Told ya.
What are you looking at, kid?
Your tires.
What do you kids know about riding?
Once the throttle is cracked open, it is rolled on evenly, smoothly, and constantly throughout the remainder of the turn.
How long have you guys been riding?
About 3 months.
Have you guys ever been at a riding school?
No, but we got this book this guy gave us.
Yeah, just keep reading it.
Come on, boys. It's time to go.